I remember the day they told me I was dreaming too big, that my obsession with turning gray, polluted city streets into living, breathing ecosystems was nothing but a naive fantasy. My family looked at me as if I'd lost my mind, mocked me behind my back, called me foolish, an embarrassment to everything they stood for. I felt the weight of their ridicule like a stone lodged in my chest, but deep down, I knew I couldn't let their dismissals silence my passion. That was the moment I made up my mind. I would prove them wrong, no matter what it took. So I left home with nothing but a battered notebook and an unshakable resolve. I threw myself into the uncharted waters of urban phytoremediation, a field they dismissed as a pipe dream. Every abandoned lot, every cracked pavement became my battleground, my canvas. I studied resilient weeds, wild plants that thrived where others saw only waste, and I realized they held the secret to healing these toxic landscapes. Every failed attempt, every skeptical glance from peers fueled my obsession. They didn't see it, but I saw the future. The journey was brutal. I faced setbacks that felt insurmountable, cities that refused to embrace my methods, funding that dried up overnight, loneliness that clawed at my mind. But I pushed through, driven by a silent promise to myself. I would transform these barren spaces into vibrant ecosystems, proof that nature's resilience was greater than anyone believed. With every tiny sprout that pushed through concrete, with every polluted soil that I purified, my confidence grew, proof that I could make a difference, that I was more than their laughter and doubt. Years blurred by in relentless effort, and slowly the impossible began to happen. Abandoned lots blossomed with lush greenery. Walls once covered in grime now teemed with moss and wildflowers. Cities, once choking on pollution, started showing signs of life, small, stubborn pockets of green that defied the odds. Media started noticing, and soon I was invited to speak at conferences, my work celebrated as groundbreaking. I had become a pioneer in urban ecological restoration, a title they had laughed at, called absurd, said I'd never achieve. And then that day came when I returned home not as the foolish dreamer they mocked, but as someone who had defied the impossible. I stepped into my childhood street, now transformed. Trees towered where pavement once reigned, and vibrant shrubs lined the corners. My family saw me across the yard, faces a mix of disbelief, pride, and something else, perhaps regret. I could see their eyes flicker with the realization of what I'd become, of what they had dismissed as a pipe dream. The moment was electric. My father, who once told me I'd never amount to anything but a foolish idealist, stepped forward with trembling hands. My mother's eyes welled with tears, her voice caught in her throat. My siblings looked on in stunned silence, faces betrayed by years of their own ridicule. I stood tall, knowing this was the culmination of every late night, every failure, every moment of doubting myself. I had turned their disdain into silence, proof that resilience, passion, and unwavering belief could forge a new reality. I reached out, and in that instant, I felt the weight of their judgment lift, replaced by something deeper, respect, awe, a recognition of the impossible made real. I told them softly, I never wanted to be just what you thought I'd be. I wanted to be what I knew I could be, the person who restores life where others see only ruin. This is what perseverance looks like. And in their eyes, I saw the lesson that sometimes the greatest victories are born from the shadows of doubt, that true success isn't just about achievement, but about transforming pain into purpose. From that day forward, I understood that every mock, every dismissive word was a seed of doubt planted by fear. But I also learned that even the deepest wounds could be healed with patience, grit, and a relentless belief in oneself. My journey wasn't just about green spaces in the city. It was about reawakening my own spirit, proving that no matter how dark the past, hope and perseverance could rewrite a future, even for those who doubted you most. Now, as I stand here amidst the thriving greenery I helped create, I realize the true victory isn't in the accolades or recognition. It's in the quiet understanding that I turned their skepticism into my strength. I've become a testament that dreams, no matter how ridiculous they seem, are worth fighting for, and that sometimes the greatest triumphs come from the most unlikely beginnings, and that, in the end, justice always finds its way back, sometimes in the form of lush living proof that resilience can change the world one seed at a time.